different as we get into game number 3. BLG on the blue side here, as they will be banning away the Skarner, the Aurora, and the Karma. It's going to be the Yunara, Gwen, and the Trundle ban on the red side. First pick Nico for On.
This was really a big pick for him last split in terms of just how much he could create with it. Nico is certainly not the same champion she was last split. The nerfs have come in at least a little bit on her. She's still very relevant, and that ultimate is still huge, but we will see what kind of impact on the game On can have, because it's very much going to really be in his hands. They are wanting this because they want him to be the primary playmaker for the team. We know he's capable of doing so. We will see if he can come up clutch in that regard. We'll see what the answer is from WE. Kaisa, another thing that's been banned quite a bit today, and it's been left up here for game number 3. So Taeyoon's Kaisa coming in.
There was a couple big bans that were kind of left up here in this game number 3. See if it's something that BLG are willing to let go, because Kaisa is devastating. I feel like in the LPL right now, always has been, maybe always will be, but the Rel also locked in for Vampire, giving him some comfort, but also a lot of breathing room in those engages.
Yeah, I mean, this is as strong of a duo as you could probably get in a Fearless Game 3 with what's left up. Kaisa is so comfortable for so many LPL teams. Rel, especially with no Alistar in the game, really the premier engage threat coming out of the support position, something we often see quite a bit before game number 3. So, you know, makes a lot of sense to lock that in, but BLG indexing entirely differently into a different direction. Kaisa obviously for scaling and for dive. Renekton can kind of play for that dive comp, but this shows me that they at the very least want to play with tempo. They don't want to try and sit there and play for Azir and Sivir in the same way that they did last game. They want to try and push that game forward.
We're back on that piggy duty, Shadow. Never again. Never again. I called it. I literally called it, Kman. I literally called it.
You might be the first commentator I have heard that's like, tank jungle instead of a carry? Well, here we go.
I'm not happy about it. That man just needs to know his job. All right? Like, that's all I'm saying. That's what BLG are saying too. Like, damn, Shadow, you're really good at facilitation. You know what's really good for that? The piggy. And he's going to be locking that one in again. The Ornn is going to be locked in, though, on the other side for Q.
Yeah, I mean, both sides making a lot of sense. The Ornn really plays into that, you know, Kaisa carry idea that they might want to go for. Obviously, it depends on what they want to, you know, play in the mid lane alongside it. I can actually see a control mage being very effective here. Something like, well, I was going to say Victor, but as it's taken off the board, you don't have that option anymore. It seems BLG and I were on the same page, but I completely agree. You got to ban out the Yone, and you got to ban out the more aggressive, assassin-oriented mid lane picks. You know, I'm not trying to say that they need damage in the mid lane, but, you know, with Sylas, with Yone off the board, there are some Knight picks, you know, some classic Knight picks that I think could theoretically be really fun options here if they are left up. I don't want to call my Akali shot too early, because you never really know what could come out of a draft like this, but boy, would I be excited to see something from Knight that would be really aggressive to kind of complement the rest of this draft.
Yeah, I definitely could see something going along those lines. I do like the Akali ban finally, so is it going to be let through for this game 3?
Yeah, unfortunately, no Akali for game 3. Definitely a bit of a sad moment, but plenty of other options still. Again, for WE, you're really setting up this Kaisa dive like identity here, where you want to play for that team fight and let her just kind of take over. Trust Taeyoon a lot. If you're going to do that, then obviously Realm Warps can really play into that. Ryze also puts out a surprising amount of damage in the late game. It feels like people talk about him as if he's just this facilitative mid. He has been very effective as a secondary carry, so makes sense to lock that in, and they're going to save counterpick for jungle for Monki here.
A little bit of showing Shadow what's up from game number 2 with the counterpick R5 jungle setup. But we said it from the beginning of the day, like, this Monki Shadow contest is going to be extremely important through this series and really sets the tone of kind of the aggressiveness from both sides. And it is the Cassio locked in for Knight in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting pick because it does kind of answer the Ryze, you know, obviously in terms of how that matchup goes. This is your classic Ryze counter pick from many, many years ago, but the way that it integrates into the rest of the team I think is interesting. It really does show that the Renekton is a bit more of an outlier, and it will be the Tristana locked in as well. This is a very, very interesting draft from BLG that I think gives them a lot of options.
All right, well, they've definitely pulled the rabbit out of the hat with this one. We'll see what the final pick for Monki is. It's going to be his signature Viego. We'll see him pull that one out. The Reset City. Can WE do it?
Oh, I'm excited for WE here. Their comp scales terrifyingly well. Like, their damage in the late game is going to be nearly unstoppable with Ornn, especially giving them all extra stats and ornaments. I think for BLG, this could be a really scary game if you're not able to get that power spike off early. I think you're looking at lane matchups that kind of have to go in your favor, because when I look at this team, you have some pieces for the late game. Sejuani, even Tristana, Cassio can play late game. You have pieces in the early game as well. Renekton can be able to run that. Tristana should be able to do well in lane with the Nico. Their mid game is non-existent. They should not be able to fight really at all in that phase of the game. If they end up falling behind, this could be very dangerous for them.
I feel like BLG are kind of issuing a hands check here in a lot of ways, because they have some good options together, like synergistically, but a lot of these cases you need those advantages in the solo lanes. You need those advantages in those 1v1s, 2v2s, but in those fights the bar of execution can be pretty high for you, whereas on the other side you have such ease of engage, you have so many good ins, that it's BLG saying we are better than you, Team WE, and we can take this game 3 and remain undefeated.
That's what's being thrown down. That is the gauntlet for sure for BLG. If they're not able to step up, and I think especially if you can't get gold on one of your two carries, your Cassio or your Tristana, this game becomes very scary very fast with, a pretty big advantage over to a potential protecting Kai'Sa late game type of comp, and even Viego getting resets. There are plenty of ways and plenty of options for WE, and BLG need to put the pedal to the metal early.
Half of BLG's losses have come from WE. Let's see if they can make it real. Do BLG go undefeated, continuing that record? Here we go, game 3. The extra cheers have not done well for BLG, is all I'm saying.
Not paid dividends just yet in terms of paying off that support, but they will have their chance to really support their team here in a game number 3. Pretty standard start, but we are getting potential delayed invade here. They do have vision of Karis. Oh, the flash!
Oh, Vampire tries to go for the jiggy flash play. Lockdown Elk won't find it in the end. Takes a decent amount of damage back. And as we take a look at the runes, it will be the Sejuani spellbook. We have seen this before. Also provides some utility to that pick, which I appreciate.
This has really become kind of the popular rune for Sejuani, which I find very fun. I think it gives you so many options. Obviously the smite being necessary in most instances, but honestly, Sedge is one of those champs that's happy to not have flash for extended periods of time, and swap that out for an exhaust or even a teleport to get around the map. You can see some interesting plays happen.
Oh,
Vampire going to continue to look.
Yeah, it goes for another crash down. We saw it all over social media between the games, but congratulations to On. 5,000 total assists. Number 11 all-time in the LPL. Congratulations to him. I know he's gotten a lot of flack here as of late, but now he's on a pick that I love watching him work the map on the Nico.
Yes, congratulations to On. I'm sure we can all remember the days where he comes in as the sword art replacement for Weibo, and people
he was the youngest player in the LPL. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to see the glow up, the World Finals level glow up that On has been able to make over the course of his career, but it's gonna have to be big in this game on the Nico. You're absolutely right. He's been a truly exceptional player on the Nico. It's one of the reasons why this team found success in the playoffs to be able to get to MSI last split. See if he can do it again.
All right, we're getting to the culmination of the jungle clears. Shadow should be looking for a little bit of action, potentially just going for those resets, but that's where we can focus on the differentiation between the jungle matchup in this one, because game 1, game 2, it was all about what they can do to kind of get in each other's face. Monki went with that invade early in game number 1. Shadow went with the invade in game number 2. Now we get a little bit of a play on bot side. Speaking of Shadow's influence, he is trying to facilitate for his carries And now they're going to find Elk. First blood for BLG, and even On doesn't go down. They find exactly where they need to.
That is the Nico priority. That is a Nico diff right there in the bot lane. So easy for her to be able to tank up those tower shots when she is a minion that it makes dives essentially free. Cube has no counterplay to that situation, and it really is going to put him behind. So credit to BLG for understanding the champ.
Literally knew the swap was coming out. End up getting it as Cube had TP'd there, so that's going to feel a little bit bad. He's finally going to make it back. Taeyoon and Vampire going to be up on this top side of the map. Dragon coming up in about 45 seconds. No Infernal Soul for this final game of the day. But still see how reactive these teams want to be to these objective spawns as well. And as I was talking about, we were saying facilitation for Shadow. When do we want to get the pedal to the metal going for Monki?
Well, I think for Monki, you got to make sure that you don't fall behind. I think it's a little bit understandable if you need to be a little bit slower with your draft because of just how well this team can scale. But Viego can't really ever be in a spot where he gets blown up at the beginning of a fight. You need to make sure that you have enough survivability to push forward in that instance. We'll have to see what he wants to prioritize. It does look like WE just have all this pressure on the bot side of the map because of the lane swap with Elk and On the top side. Could just be a dragon here for them.
I'll say, though, Elk getting the better of the CS differential so far. The weird back and forth lane swap that we've had already. And a little side note on Monki, I mean, he will just always be useful. You get one reset in fights, and fights become a completely different conversation for WE. As Cube trying to get back up to the top side, but he just overextended and now gets the flash out of On with the rocket jump coming in, and the explosive charge going to go through. Cube's going to die again. Elk gets his second kill of the game, and Vampire, Karis just have to watch.
This is a nightmare for Cube. He is completely taken out of this game. I think the only encouraging trait is that this is an Ornn. If there's ever a champion that's okay going a ton down in CS, it is going to be Ornn, but Vampire in trouble now.
Oh no, he's only level 4 as well. Gonna get the knockback with the double shattering strikes, but the explosive charge connects. On tanks up again, and this is clinical from BLG.
It's almost as if WE don't know what the champion can do because they continue to walk under a tower with these big waves crashing and allow On to just turn into a minion and dive them. It's, obviously great execution by BLG, but seemingly disrespectful by WE, and they're paying the price right now. Look at the gold difference that's been generated.
All so early as well. 3,000 gold up for BLG. Monki almost gets caught. He does have his level 6 now, so the Heartbreaker is there, but On and Shadow going to start moving around the map consistently now that lanes have kind of broken open. And On in between the lanes is the most dangerous position for WE.
Yeah, Vampire getting stunned up once again. He's taking quite a bit of damage. They're here.
Shadow missed his Arctic Assault, but he has the Glacial Prison. He's already level 6. Doesn't find the damage on the Vampire, but Taeyoon's going to have to back away too because Shadow's doing the classic play of follow through on the engage.
Oh,
your mount versus my mount. Poro wins.
Danger here. It's crashing.
Oh, Taeyoon. Oh, Taeyoon. Oh. It is devastation right now for WE, and they're not even going to get anything back from it. Shadow beautifully flashes away from the Heartbreaker of Monki.
Lennon, I don't know what to say.
So what did you say to me right before we went live? What was the statement that you uttered to me?
Oh, I don't remember. You might have to remind me.
It'd be crazy if this third game was a 20-minute stomp for BLG. It's not looking like a 20-minute, but it's looking like a stomp nonetheless. About 3,000 gold up, 8 minutes in. Now we have the next set of objectives coming up with the grubs on top side and tons of pings coming in from BLG.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they have whatever they want on the map. Grubs just spawned, and they're up 3,000 gold, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they can just take this. There's no real way to contest anything around here. I think specifically Elk being up 1.5k gold by himself is just such an unsustainable thing for WE to fight into that if he's at any contest throughout the rest of the early game, they probably just have to sack in terms of the objectives. So we'll see how they want to play it out, but...
I know I was pretty harsh on BLG last game, but then when you have games like this, you're like, where did you go for game 2? Like, where did those decisions come from? And that's the beautiful amalgamation that is BLG in their undefeated split 3 so far. And now they're just using this pressure they gained early to just consistently try to poke at WE. Shadow now using this control ward in the bush. He actually could have made a play on the Taeyoon if he had seen him, but the red buff still going to go the way of WE.
Yeah, at least they're able to get their own jungle camp. I think that that's a small win for WE considering the circumstances, but things around the map not going quite too well. Ben going to be able to shove this in, force the TP out from Cube. That's one major resource burned, and worth noting, Cube is the exact same level as Elk on the other side. So this Ornn is going to be, it's going to take him quite a while to get to a lot of those ornaments. Really not an ideal set of circumstances. Knight, by the way, has just been able to sit here and farm at almost 100 CS at 9.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Is also still going to be strong on the Casio, despite the fact that he's not really been involved in the action yet.
And again, I think we need that step up. We saw a step down on the Azir, a classic for Knight. And now on the Cassiopeia, the first time in the split that he's playing it, being willing to go for the Rod of Ages build here too, so scaling nonetheless for both sides of this mid matchup, but really want to see some emphasis given to Knight and Elk to be those carries. There's a little bit of a CS differential, about 20 in the jungle, and something to kind of keep a side eye on as we move forward here.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you don't get too far, you know, in your own zone, right? Like, you can generate a 3K gold lead, and then you can forget that you have it, start playing super aggressive, make bad plays, and throw it away. We have seen bigger gold leads thrown today already by these two teams, and so you have to make sure that you keep your pedal to the metal in this instance. But with Elk so strong, as we can see on the bottom of your screen, it's really, really tough to imagine a world where if he's at the fight, it's going to be playable for WE.
First items coming in. Kraken Slayer start for Monki. I feel like we have seen more of the Trinity Force start, but honestly, after that game 2, let the man cook, is what I say. We'll see as these other first items start coming through. Obviously a little bit delayed because Karis ended up going for this Mercury treads first. And the Dragon going to go to BLG, the second one of the game, so it will be 1-1 in Dragon score between the two. Meanwhile, On making a mad dash down towards bot side, trying to catch out the bot lane of WE.
Yes, WE has some paranoia now down on the bottom side of the map. They're not willing to walk up again. I think they're even worried under their tower. Monki trying to trade something on the other side of the map, but he will find no camps. Overall, just a win for BLG. It continues to grow their gold lead and put them in a pretty good spot. Dragon stacking, you know, going to be much more possible for them, and with Ocean Soul being potentially on the table this game, could be massive, as we see BLG maybe looking for another dive.
They have full vision of this coming down, but this could be the third executed dive by BLG. Realm Warp's going to come in, but On has already claimed the kill on the Vampire. Turret plate also goes down, split between the 4. WE a little bit late to the play call.
Yeah, I mean, even if you spot that out early, super tough to be able to punish it in any way with just how reliable the dive is because of Nico and because of Sejuani as a duo. They're not done.
Oh, no, the flash play! We've heard so many people talk about taking that out of the game, and that might just be a definition of it. They don't get any kills from it, but they're going to get the turret. At least the explosion from the explosive charge on the turret helps take down Taeyoon. Okay, Vampire is now here. This turret is warmed up, and it is executing people on the side of BLG. Monki getting resets left and right, getting to get another one right in the center. And it's going to be a couple quick kills back to WE.
This play might not even be done. Monki can keep going, at least for a bit here. It looks like they're going to be respectful enough, maybe not.
Oh, he tries to go for the little play with the Heartbreaker. Shattering Strike, going to be instantly cleansed out of. Explosive Charge not going to get procced that time. Cube able to get some free time on the top turret, but that's what happens when you overextend into a Viego.
You know, I'm not going to try and say that, you know, well, first off, Cube could be in a bit of danger here. Is a level down on Knight.
He's going to flash out.
He's going to have to flash out.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the punish. That's kind of the consequence of what I was talking about earlier, just feeding a little bit too much into your own hype. This is a very aggressive redive. It's a great flash engage from On, but the cleanse coming out from Taeyoon makes it worthwhile. He does take quite a bit of damage under tower, but look at how many resources they have to burn to make this happen. At this point, the tower is, as you said, very heated up, very charged up, and Bin flashing to re-engage here. They just don't have the damage. Vampire with a phenomenal re-engage that completely changes the course of this fight, and Monki at this point can just start getting resets. You know, as much as you might be up 3k gold, it's still a Viego, so definitely have to pay attention to that.
That's the constant, is it's always a Viego. They're going to find another dive, another kill onto Cube. And that'll be all 3 of Elk's kills are now Cube.
Yeah, you know, Cube not having the best of times on the top side here. Certainly not enjoying the game, I think, that's being played. But I think he can take some solace in the knowledge that it's not the rest of his team that ends up falling down. BLG, though, capitalizing again on this idea that, hey, we're Nico Sejuani. Who's going to stop us from diving? Absolutely no one. And continuing to really assert their dominance despite the bad play earlier.
And with full, almost, at least, objective control so far from BLG, they will be looking for this Rift Herald play in about 20 seconds. They already had that one dragon taken away from them, obviously the early one from WE, but so far since then, they've had full control. Also, still waiting on the Rod of Ages completed for Karis. That feels so bad because you're already at 5 stacks for Knight.
Yeah, I mean, this is 15 minutes into the game. No Roa completed for Rise. This is tragic. As Taeyoon.
Oh no, he gets everything used on him by Knight, and on they combine to take down the carry of WE.
There's just no way to play the game if you don't have cleanse for this Kaisa. There's so much CC on the other side of this matchup for BLG that anytime he's targeted, there's really no way to survive. There's no tower, there's no part of the map that's going to be able to defend you all that much. You just have to hope your team can capitalize. For now, he falls in the mid lane, they lose tower, and Rift Herald will be next on the priority list.
I mean, Elk is scooping up so much gold, 2.5 thousand gold up almost over his counterpart in Taeyoon. This Tristana final pick on the blue side really paying dividends. Bin gonna get 1v2 down here. Monki should have the damage. The knockup isn't there, but the Heartbreaker is.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried there that they wouldn't have enough damage to break through, but Monki is quite strong here. Again, Kraken Slayer on Viego actually kind of paying dividends in terms of the damage coming through, and might need it in this game. Vampire here, though, to potentially try and dive on, but he's playing so aggro. He's alone here.
On just completely threw his life away.
That is truly one of the plays of all time that I have seen as this bot tier 1 will fall.
And just like that, more chunks of the gold lead falling out of BLG's pockets. Dragon is now up on the table. It's another Ocean Soul. My God, we've literally only gotten Infernal Souls and Ocean Souls, I feel like, today. But BLG are going to move out to kind of snuff out WE's potential attempt at that neutral objective.
Certainly going to at least punish this with a bit of a Herald charge, as it actually doesn't go off into the tier 1. That's huge to get this into the tier 2.
Come on, be like Shadow. Get a mount. There you go. Okay, Shadow will just take it himself. TP is going to come in. There will be Cube joining the fight, but he is not very strong. Can they defend it? The explosive charge is going to proc. They're going to get the reset now with the rocket jumps. Another charge probably not going to be on the table. Trying to catch how Cube is on. While Bin was handling in the mid lane, that mid lane tier 2 turret. Back onto the Dragon. BLG goes while Karis is left alone on the top side.
Here is indeed the problem for WE, is that every lane is pushable constantly because you have Cassiopeia and Tristana on the team. And so it's very difficult to actually stop every place of the map. And Karis is at least going to be able to get that tier 1 on the top side, but it's essentially everything on the bot side. It's the whole bot lane taken, as well as Dragon, as well as pressure on mid tier 2. You know, it's a consolation prize at best for WE.
But honestly, at this state of the game, you take consolation prizes. You take whatever you can get. And WE are looking on the top side. This combination, Karis and Monki, with Vampire on top of it, can't pick out anybody on BLG, and Bin is the target right now. They are hunting the Croc.
See if he overextends.
Oh, he definitely is. Okay, he realizes as soon as he puts the ward in, he's like, I gotta run away. Now Cube getting caught between BLG. He tries to flash, he tries to dash, he tries to get away, but the Tangle Barb's going to connect. Taeyoon is here, but Cube will fall for a 4-time, and Elk gets it too. My God, Elk, stop it.
Elk appears out of nowhere to once again kill Cube. It seems like this has become a bit personal for Elk, and you never really know, but great job there by BLG to capitalize on their top lane dive just a tad bit better than the enemy team. No objective to take just yet, but Otacon spawning in 1 minute. That's the setup around the bot side of the map here as WE could look.
Okay, they get the lockdown on to the side of Vampire, and he can't even move. He didn't even get a chance to. Without that frontliner, you really lose out on the way that this comp can work. Cube is back up, but he has to run out of mid lane, and BLG continue to propel this lead forward. Almost 6,000 gold up now, 19 minutes in.
I think there's some sort of joke to be made here about the scoreboard. We'll get to it just a tad bit later, but once again, just full darkness for WE. Vampire walking up to try and spot things out. I understand why he might think that On is by himself, considering some previous plays, but he is in fact not. The entire team is there, so he gets CC chained to death. Only 2 ultimates used as well. Overall, just one of those plays that happens when you're a support playing from a 5K deficit, but when I look at the scoreboard here, you look at Monki, you look at the rest of the team. It's one of those solo queue experiences where, I'm 3-0-2. Maybe not feeling so good about the rest of this game.
Oh, Vampire going to try to go for a play. Fortunately, Shadow is unkillable at this point. And it just, I know I talked about it in the draft. The hands check gauntlet has been passed by BLG. They said, we are tired of this. We are tired of giving kind of even style comps where both sides have strengths. We are just going to run around as 4, as 5, and we are going to run you down, WE. And that's what they've done, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real way to stop it right now, especially with how much they are pushing through. Otacon is likely next on the target menu. They might just be fishing for WE, though. Yeah, they might be. As Realmworks coming in just to get some vision. See, Otacon already started up. They're just going to try to pull the trigger on the Vampire. They know that they can burn him down. That will be the Glacial Prison used. Otacon about half health now. Can we see a steal? Monki wants to get in the pit. Ben able to buy a little bit of time here, but the Otacon's already gone. Now Ben still alive. Gets the triple knockup from On with the Pop Blossom. He try to get Knight out of there with the flash. Now Elk is looking for resets. Going on to Taeyoon. Getting the rocket jump, but he's all by himself. He's in trouble, and the resets had come through from Monki. That's all you needed was one reset from Monki, and it finds the fight again. Actually huge for WE. They still give over the Otacon, and looks like Knight is potentially going to pick up yet another one. Vampire with a shield that's just enough to stop the Cassio burn, but still a good fight overall for WE. It's hard to really contextualize it because they're still down so much, and they gave over Otacon, but trading anything in that instance is definitely a success for a team that's failed to find so many advantages.
It's so crazy. We got to take a look back at this fight because we were so focused on the Elk side of things while Monki was running rampant.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance to see here. Ben gets chunked out really early. He ults quickly because he wants to try and zone them off. And after this On ult ends up going down, they really feel like they can just take it no matter what. But the ultimate coming down doesn't kill the Viego. And that really is the end of the fight here. It's a fantastic job by Monki as that Renekton to really space and perfectly time that Q to get the kill off, get the reset. And from that point, like, it's good stuff for Monki. He's played really well. He's 4-0-3 on the Viego. He's up 50 CS.
The mechanics in that fight from him were so nice to see. The slide over to get the soul back with the Heartbreaker. Oh, man. That's why you save this counter pick for Monki's Viego. In a game, it's always a problem. It's always an issue. And now another issue coming up. Soul point for BLG on an Ocean Soul.
Yeah, this setup is going to matter a lot. If WE can still get onto the backline, no fight is unwinnable for them in the right scenario. Cube's ult is also pretty massive. It's up in 1 second. See what he wants to do with it.
The fights can go either way. Just got to get the right setup. As Dragon going to be started up, I think WE are okay giving this one over, but that will give them a 5-minute timer till they need to fight that next one.
Gives him at least a little bit of breathing room. Cube will have some time to get some extra items on him, some extra levels on him, which will really matter. Monki, of course, already very strong, but likely will have that third item completed by the time he needs to fight again. So, pretty good delay here overall for WE. And from a game that looked like it was over at 6 minutes, I think WE have done an okay job of trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's a beautiful sight to see in a series that on paper should be so obviously one-sided. An undefeated team versus a low-ranking, almost last-place team in Group Ascend. But in these back-to-back best-of-threes, we've seen some of the best of WE and maybe some of the worst from BLG. So trying to take advantage of the moments is all that really matters. And for WE, these wins need to start coming. We've said it time and time again, but they need to keep themselves in the higher ranks of that bottom four to make sure they can get the best opponent, best setup going into the playoff play-in.
Yeah, you do not want to be number 8 in Group Ascend right now with how Edward Gaming are playing down in Group Nirvana, but definitely worth noting that in this game, it's about a 3k gold lead for BLG. It's about a 3k gold lead for Tristana, and so you are able to get onto that AD carry. You could be neutralizing a lot of the problems.
Thank you, Cube.
Monki might have the ability to take over. Yes, thank you, Cube, for donating that gold lead over to Elk, but the setup now around the Baron, spawning in 15 seconds. BLG definitely posturing around this, but I doubt that they would want to commit to it so early. We will see, though.
Yeah, I gotta say, though, almost third items coming through for Elk, but those second items going to be extremely important, especially with that almost 10 stack Rod of Ages for Karis, the rise, the scaling, and this team composition for WE. It's getting closer and closer coming online, especially if Knight gets caught with his hand all in the trap. WE turn it now onto Baron.
That is a huge pick. Baron has started here for WE.
I mean, they just burn it. I mean, with Monki being the snake, Shadow steps up over here, but now this Ornhorn has been called. Shadow's trying to make an escape, but he completely leaves his carry in the dust. He left Elk out on an island. And BLG have fallen completely apart here. Baron going to be going to WE.
Oh no, we might be in for one of the biggest comebacks that we have seen in the LPL this year. Don't call it a comeback until it's there, but Monki and Karis are stepping up. Vampire as well. We're going to get a replay of exactly what happened. Knight just face checks the entirety of WE with no vision here. He just walks up, assuming he's going to be safe. He is not. Vampire, Cube, they are ready to capitalize, and he is bursted down from this point. This fight is still winnable for BLG. I want to make that clear, but Vampire on the flank sees Elk, stuns him, cleanse down, does not matter. Layer the CC, exhaust him, he is gone. Once Elk is gone, like I said, that's the whole gold lead for BLG, and now that gold lead's gone. It's 500 gold lead. WE are in command of this game.
And that's a scaling comp that WE have. They are built for this setup, and I'm just going to call Knight out right now. I'll walk past it. I'm a biggest Knight fan out there, but my God, when you are one of the best players in the entire world, you cannot make those mistakes. You cannot. And he does. And now WE in a prime position. Almost 3 items on majority members. Just lacking that on Taeyoon. Lacking it on Cube. And this scaling really coming online, Kman.
This has got to be one of the highest damage Viego builds I have seen. He is going to obliterate the backline of BLG if he can get access to it.
But BLG have reassumed ranks. This is what worked for them. This is what built them. A 5,000 gold lead is grouping, keeping together, and now they realize that can be their strength.
Yeah, they have to stick together. This game is very winnable for BLG. They are not out just yet at all. This Tristana is still incredibly fed. And despite the gold being even across these two teams, if you can get Elk into a position, he can still dominate a team fight if you keep him away from Monki. But you have to set that up. 40 seconds on the Dragon spawning. That is everything for the rest of this game. BLG cannot be allowed Ocean Soul.
And Monki still having such a big impact here on his Viego. You love to see the R5 pay out. It's his most played by a country mile. And now, in a pivotal game to try to upset BLG, try to take them down for the first time in the split, his top laner is getting caught by BLG, and now they will be on the back foot in this fight. Vampire was on a flank, and now he needs to be very careful on how he exits.
This is a very precarious situation. Vampire and Monki both extended. Dragon has spawned. We will see if they have the opportunity to get in for a steal.
All right, Monki, this is it. Are you going to be able to get in there? The Dragon's already going down. Monki can't even get in. And the soul of the Ocean Soul will go the way of BLG. Meanwhile, mid lane, WE trying to get something back. Realm Warp going to be stopped in its tracks. Bin goes into the fight. It's a little bit low. Shadow now circling over here, trying to find his own angle. On going for a deep one here. He is walking the long walk. As now the engage for Shadow. On finds the angle. On finds the setup. They're going to have to fight this one. TP is coming in from Cube. They want this. Monki needs resets, but they end up finding this. Sonya's at least coming out from Karis. He does go down in the end. Knight finds the one pick. WE now trying to fight them way out. They need Monki to get a reset. That is their saving grace in a 4v5. Elk steps forward. Can't get the reset on the explosive charge. Cube does make it out of there alive. BLG just searching for any targets. They're desperate. They need to kill somebody. They aren't able to find anybody but Karis. Maybe trying to chase down Vampire. The fact that this is still going and Vampire ends up getting ran down after his entire team leaves him. It's a little bit of a situation diff for BLG.
A bit of a fiesta, but we do eventually end up getting there. It's a good turn from BLG, and it's a massive mistake from Cube to start that exchange off. BLG looking to teleport to the top side. They want to push this in.
The tempo plays, the decision, the experience really coming alive right now. They know how strong Elk is. They know they can burst down these turrets. They're looking at an inhib here.
Yeah, Monki has to back. He's just starting the recall now. This is not just tower. This should be more than that. They should have full tempo to be able to go and get vision around any objective that they're looking for. Baron is still 1:40 away, so you're not too worried about that. But with that Ocean Soul, it's impossible for WE to feel comfortable walking up to them. At this point, their hope is going to be to play for that Elder.
All right, give me the doctor's notice here for WE. You've got 4 minutes. What game plans do you come up with? What do you set up here? The item spikes, they might not be there, but you need to game plan how they approach this Elder.
You need to get Cube as many levels as possible because these ornaments have to be online for this Elder fight. No matter what, whatever ends up happening, you have to be in a position where you are at your strongest for this Elder in 3.5 minutes. Still 1 minute on Baron. You need to make sure they can't just dance around it. They're going to try to bait you into a fight. Monki has to stay protected. If he can get those resets, they absolutely can still win.
Cube very close to his level 15. We'll get another upgrade. The first one went to Monki, rightfully so. I expect the next one to go to Taeyoon. As BLG move up, they realize they're trying to get some XP up here, but the Baron up in 40 seconds with a 4th item completed for Elk, the GA. This guy can play so on the edge, and you've also completed 4th item for Knight.
These carries are huge in terms of how things are set up for BLG. As long as they are able to fight front to back, it's going to be tough to break through. Monki even getting the reset on Tristana now has become infinitely more difficult. It's a brilliant GA buy. We will see if Elk can carry the game. He's in a prime position to.
He is. Resets for him, resets for Monki. Reset City, somebody's got to get a ticket to it. Ornn ulti goes completely wide. Cube is without his horn, and he cannot do much now. They do end up getting some good damage back on an Elk. The Void Seeker hit its mark by Taeyoon. They actually will hover around this Baron, and Elk just starts it up. He's going to lose a chunk of his health here, but they are just going to try to burn it. They're just going to sneak it away, and there is no control over that side of the map for WE. They realize what they've lost, and Monki will go to side lane.
Once that Ornn Horn is burned, and especially once it's not utilized in terms of the second proc, that fight is over. That's your engage tool in terms of being able to get a long-range push in. It's a free Baron for BLG. WE not opting in to fight because they want to be there for the Elder. We'll see if they can even make it there at this point.
TP going in way deep from Vampire with the spell book as he comes through this inhib turret. It's going to be worse for wear now as Karis has completed the Zanyas after popping that Seekers last time. Elk goes forward. Again, he's playing like a madman with this GA. He knows that he can get so much damage down, but Vampire found the flank. Vampire found the moment. Is he going to find it? He can't find the Shattering Strike. He's in trouble. They go moving on to Knight. Knight gets the reset over to Monki. Now Monki trying to move over into the fight itself. It is going to be the 1-for-1. Knight for Vampire. You take that trade all day for WE, but they overextend. Monki, no! At the last moment, he oversteps his bounds. He escapes from his holds, and now Taeyoon trying to find the play back, trying to get this big team fight, but Ben has shown up. He's locking everybody down. He's the big croc on campus, and the Ornhorn is not going to be nearly enough. Resets for Elk, as he is the one that will finally book his ticket to Reset City. BLG will remain undefeated, 7-0 to start their finish their round robin, and WE will not make good on what happened merely 24 hours ago.
It looked unlosable, and it looked lost, all within the same game, but BLG still come out on top. They maintain their undefeated record at 7-0. They go to first place, and was it clean? No. Did it feel good? No. Should they have won this in 20 minutes? Yes, but that, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. All it will read on the scoreboard is 2-1 in favor of BLG, and there are still things that are positives to take away from this series.
Yeah, there definitely are from both sides. I think we're probably, not going to lie, going to get the same answers from them in their post-game series from both sides. But, you know, you take those. And I think for WE, it's going to feel bad because, again, you've played that one game more than